Hello and welcome to this edition of the Time with Hime podcast. I'm your host, Lynn Cordes, joined by our superintendent, Mr. Hime. It's Monday, a week before we're out for spring break next week.
Wow, you know it's March 7th.
It is.
And then next week, so it'll be the 21st, and next March will be gone.
It's
Amazing.
crazy.
It is fast-moving. Spring's here. Spring sports everywhere. Cold this week, but hey, we talked about it. We'll trade this week for cold and spring break.
It's going to be beautiful, hopefully.
Yeah, knock on wood. Usually spring break is rain and cold, and this year it looks like there's a possibility we might. Hey, we deserve a beautiful spring break after what COVID, bad weather, ice. It's been an amazing 2022 so far as scheduling a regular routine of school. But
we have a lot of things going on before we do leave for the break, and one of those being an update to our COVID summaries.
We've looked at it. We talked last week a little bit about the CDC changed their mask mandates and adjustments. Obviously, we called the health department and talked to them and talked to others about what they were thinking and what they were looking at, and our numbers have gone to zero. We may have one or two now, but as far as I know, we don't have students or teachers with reported cases. So we have removed the mask mandate. And one of the reasons we do that for people who say, well, why we're good, the enforcement of it gets really tough at this time of the year. First of all, it's spring. We're all tired of wearing a mask. And it's worked for us really well that when we remove it at this time, if something was to happen and we were getting another spike or another variant come through, we would feel more comfortable reinstating it and having success getting the enforcement of it. So the mask mandate's over. Again, we recommend it. Feel free to wear a mask. That's a personal choice. I have no problem with. In some settings, I do. As far as around town, most people aren't wearing a mask now. Still have to on an airplane. I noticed at the State of the Union speech, there weren't very many people wearing a mask the other night. So I think nationally, it's starting to fade.
And when we talked about the mask mandate last week, we said that freedom would follow what Fort Sill's guidance is. And we did talk out there with, our command leadership, and freedom is exempt from having mask mandates. So they're free as well.
They're
like the
removing theirs too. So it's perfect timing that the federal government was doing the same thing with the bases that we were doing. And so again, we're staying together, and that's what we want to do, is kind of be lockstep in how we do it. And so we roll into what goes on. Getting back to normal a little bit, we were able to meet with our bond oversight committee. Once again, for me, I've got to meet with them once, but it was in the COVID, during the time a lot of people came, everybody was in mask. It was a different setting. This was more of a normal setting to get a better understanding of who they were, what they did, and a big shout out to them in this community once again. I moved in. We had all this money out there from bond issues that you guys passed and did a great job to get things for the students, and it's made my job a lot easier in that transition of being the superintendent, that we've had some funds available and been able to do some things for our students to create opportunities. And we're going to continue that. We've continued to work to secure other funds, some of the federal money we've got from the COVID and some of those. So things to look forward that we always talk about is, we're working on Douglas right now, remodeling that. From the bond committee side, we got a couple schools that need gyms. We still have some safe rooms. We're looking at building a gym safe room at one site. We're looking at an ag mechanic shop here at Douglas that the McMahon Foundation donated, $500,000
Douglas
to.
or the LRC?
Oh, excuse me. Here at the LRC. Thank you for correcting me. At the LRC, we're looking at building an ag mechanic shops. Our district does not have an ag mechanic shop right now, which is unusual for a district that has 3 ag teachers, so we're excited about that. We're going to looking at building some facilities that are multi-purpose to add some girls' locker rooms across the district and some indoor practice space for batting cages and for band or soccer or even flying drones at each of our high school, middle school sites for some of those things. So that money is there. The federal money we've got, the legislator passed the Red Bed Fund last year that brought us some money. Some of the other monies we had and some of the building fund money we've accumulated over the years. We're going to look at pooling that money together and create numerous opportunities for our students in the next couple of years. So be on the lookout, ideas and so forth. But we're trying to make that investment and use the money as it was meant to be money to create as many opportunities as possible.
And speaking of updates, we will share out with our families on our social media pages. But Lincoln is looking a little different with
haven't
the
been by
difference
there.
that we've done on the
we've
demo.
Talked a little bit of one thing at Lincoln. We had bought a house there, and we demoed it to expand the parking so we could create more playing. One thing we want to do at Lincoln is if you go there, the security's not very good because you basically have to go through the gym to get to the office. Well, we're going to move the office to the east side and make it where you can go around to what we call the east side of the building, which would be the front when you're just looking at it. And we've redone that front, and so that's going to be a great security upgrade. You know, that's something we're really excited about in this district. We talked today to AJ. In this district, we have security cameras at all sites now, and we should be covering all areas. And they still work with principals and administration and leaderships to make sure every area is covered with a security camera, which is very exciting. Now, as we said, we are not putting security cameras in the bathroom. We are not putting security cameras in the bathrooms, and we are not taking down the stall doors in our restrooms across the district. So make sure you know that. But besides those areas, we're hoping to have cameras everywhere for security and safety purposes. Buses all have security cameras. They also have badge scanners. So when you get on the bus, you scan it. When you get off, you scan it. These things are going to help us as we continue to adapt to the use of these securities to be safer. Again, that's one of the most important things you do as a superintendent or a school administrator is do everything you can to ensure the safety of the students from the time they step out of their door until the time they get back to their door. Very exciting things we're doing across the district with safety.
A lot of good things happening. And before we actually get into spring break, this week is jam-packed with a lot of great events. A couple being the strategic plan, the whole group.
Yes.
Since we redid, since we had the remote days a few weeks ago, they're coming back Thursday and Friday, and they're going to meet again.
Yes, we have a group of people. That's the teachers, business people, students, just a community group that is working on our strategic plan, and they've worked really hard on it. And we're excited that they're going to come back again and finish up phase 3 this week, so that's exciting for us. And again, a shout-out to all the people who have been a part of the strategic plan. You know, another thing we did as a part of the strategic plan is we had a demographer and a facilities evaluator come in and evaluate all of our facilities and look at our demographics as far as where students live, and look at our birth rates and do a full study and try to give us a projected ideal of 5, 10, 15 years from now where students will live and where schools should be, looking at our buildings, what buildings need to be ready for. You think about it, what do our buildings need to look like in 2030? But that's only 7 years away. It's 8 years, but as far as school years go, it's just around the corner. So we're going to look at some of those things because that 5, 10, and 15-year plan, all of a sudden you're in 2035 when you start talking 15 years. And so we're excited about that.
Well, that's like the bond. We passed that in 2017, and here we are in 2022. It felt like we just passed it.
I guarantee, as hard as some of y'all worked, I guarantee you felt like you were just knocking on doors yesterday getting that thing passed. It's still exciting what everybody worked together as a team in Lawton and the community at Lawton for Lawton Public Schools to get passed.
Another great event happening Friday you want to tell our families with Bob?
Battle
of the Books.
Battle of the Books. Very, this is one of those things that, you can look at Lynn. She gets so excited about it, and I've heard all these people get excited about it. I'm looking forward to Bob because I've heard a lot about it, but again, with the pandemic and what we've gone through, I've never got to witness it firsthand the way it's supposed to be. So, yes, Friday is Bob, and I'm looking forward to it. Hey, we also got this week, Thursday, the young ladies from MacArthur State Basketball Tournament.
Yay,
Thursday, I believe it's at 2 o'clock at Norman North. Very excited for them. Congratulations, ladies. Y'all made it last year and this year, and a big shout-out to them for that trip down there. And I'm looking forward to getting there and supporting them and cheering them on to a victory as they move toward a possible state championship.
And let's continue on with the student celebration. We had an esports signing.
There's been 2 esports people get a scholarship in the state, and one of them is from Lawton Eisenhower.
Christian Vasquez.
Yeah, yes. Awesome. Congratulations. Shout out.
He's going with Oklahoma City University.
Hey, this is the truth. When we started talking about esports and we said, there's colleges actually give scholarship. I know there were people calling bull. I just know, that's
We've got one. We have one. And we have many more.
And we're going to have many more. Big shout out. Our esports were very successful this year, and that is an up-and-coming event. and we are excited about what we got going on with esports and some of the things we're doing.
Even down to our middle school. It's crazy. Yes. They're doing incredible. So to see that growth in just the year that we've had. We also had Braden Johnson from Lawton High School. He was a presidential nominee, scholar nominee.
Yes.
And we'll find out, crossing our fingers for him.
Okay, now you're going to jump in here and tell about all the art stuff.
I am. So we had, our orchestra teams. They went or groups, and they have been doing ensemble and solo competitions, and they're doing well. We had drama. We also had Savannah Clark from Lawton High, who won the Oklahoma City Thunder art contest, and she had a beautiful mural that was done on Greenwood.
Oh, it is.
On the avenue, so right across from the Cultural Center. And it's
very
incredible.
Excited.
Beautiful work. So we have a lot of great things that our students are doing continuously in the arts, and we just have to give a shout out because that's one area that I do not excel in. I can't play an instrument and I can't draw, but I do love looking at all of it.
I can't draw a stick, man. I can't play an instrument, and anybody who knows me, I absolutely cannot sing.
I'm with you.
I guarantee
I'm barely
you
there.
Can sing better than I can.
Great job to our kids, because that's why we love
those. I love our students that succeed and excel in those, and hopefully we can continue to provide more opportunities and resources in our fine arts world as well.
And can you believe we are preparing for graduation soon? So after spring break, families, we're going to have some more information out for you.
And the same thing, you're preparing for next year. If you're a freshman,
sophomore,
and you need to start looking. If you think you're going to college, we're going to try to have where our freshmen can take college classes next year for free.
Sophomores, they're freshmen this year, and then they'll be sophomores next year.
Correct. And if you're a sophomore this year and you're going to be a junior, for sure, 100%, you can take free classes. And the same with our seniors. Career Tech, you need to start looking at your ideas there.
And tell them what free includes, just so that our families know.
Free includes books, tuitions, and fees. So it shouldn't be any cost to our parents. They can take it here at the LRC. There are some classes still offered at Cameron.
And there are just opportunities for our technology center as well, because we're working on the cosmetology,
yes.
Correct?
And that may be a year away. Let's not get too far. We're so excited about all we're doing because, we're moving all of our vocational agricultural programs here to the LRC so we can offer more and give more choices to our students. Again, it's all about opportunities. We challenge our schools, our teachers, but I challenge you as parents and students, if there's something you would like to see offered or there's something you would like to be able to learn about, let us know and we'll try to create it. I know here at the LRC we're looking at sign language, Comanche, possibly Kiowa. We're looking at all different classes to offer to create more opportunities for our students.
Mr. Hime, is there anything else you want to celebrate as we head into our final week before spring break?
Hey, one thing I want to say is you and I both know this. You can't say it enough. We have the most awesome teachers there are. Just super. We talked about the facilities planner going around. He bragged on our teachers and how our buildings looked and how much he was very
complimentary, because I remember when he came in and our support staff and everybody that
thought they were doing a great job. Very impressed with what he saw out of our teachers. So, spring break's coming, and some people think, man, it must be nice to be a teacher and get spring break. Well, when you've worked and, even the remote days are mental days for teachers, where they work hard and there's a lot to do. They got 9 days coming up, and I know a lot of you are going to work because that's just what you do, and you've got a lot of things. Get you some R&R and get you some mental health days in there and make sure you come back ready, because as we all know, when we get back from spring break, it goes fast, but with testing and some of the things that go on, it can be very stressful between now and graduation. So, again, a big shout out to our teachers. And anybody, if you got questions, suggestions, or anything you want us to talk about, any kind of special guests you want on, info@lawtonps.org. info@lawtonps.org. Don't forget our webpage, lawtonps.org, www.lawtonps.org. And
follow us on our social media pages as well. Like and subscribe. Also, we just want to remind our families as we head into the weekend, time changes.
Oh, yes.
Yay. We got to spring forward.
Hey, they'll have it all. Surely they'll have it all fixed by the time they get back for spring break.
I hope so. We're ready for the rest, relaxation, and recharge. Mr.
There we
Hime.
go.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us. And until next time, have a wonderful spring break, and we will see you when we get back. Have a good one.